Hey, everybody, it's Jade. Thanks so much for cruising on by. Happy Sunday, fun day, or whenever you happen to be watching this. I really appreciate it. Minnesota Timberwolves fans, are we howling or what? Ooh, wow, what a game. Holy shit. So, Timberwolves just completely demolished the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, game 3 at the Target Center in Minneapolis. Final score, let me double check here. Yep, okay. Final score, Minnesota 143, Oklahoma City 101. That was just a complete beatdown of a game. As a Timberwolves fan, I'm like, whoa, okay, let do whatever you did. Just keep doing that, okay? You got it together. Let's just keep doing what you did. As an astrologer, I had so many things to go back to the chart. I have so many notes in my recap, so many things I missed, so many things that I flat out just said that I didn't apply, that I need to apply as an astrologer. So, got that one wrong. I had Oklahoma City winning by 4 to 5 points. Yeah, they had no chance from the beginning, but I'm going to get into that. I have my trusty nerd notes here. I got a couple extra pages with corrections, things that I missed, things that I said, again, that I didn't apply. What the hell? So I'm going to just pull up the chart for last night's game, go through the things that I kind of talked about, things that I, missed, go through the little recap there. And then I'm going to pull up the chart for tomorrow, game 4, Monday night, slated for around 7:30 Central Time, in Minneapolis again. Both the teams too are mirrored too, which is interesting because we have the new moon in Gemini tomorrow. Gemini is the Twins, two-sided. So right now, the Timberwolves are 1-2. OKC is 2-1 in the series. Kind of just like a mirror. If you look at them, but if the Timberwolves do in fact win Game 4 tomorrow, then the series will be split 2-2. Gemini is 2. The Twins. So could the Wolves continue howling tomorrow night? We shall see. We shall see. I'm going to come to the chat really quick and say hi to everybody. Hi, Ryan. Good to see you. Ryan says, what a bounce back game. Hopefully they are not satisfied with last night. Build off of it, and this could go the distance. Careful, though. OKC will bring the Thunder, so take them out quick. Yes. I think, just the quickness of it all. And they were finally clicking. Like, the Timberwolves were finally clicking. They had just kind of been, off, really. And, I'm going to go through that officially. And, but yeah, how exciting. And I agree, Ryan, too. Don't take your foot off the gas. As Vikings fans, I know Ryan is a Vikings fan too. Vikings fans, we've seen this before where they take their foot off the gas and then, okay, you go and you got to finish the game. Okay. So Timberwolves, different sport, different team, but they are a Minnesota team. So hopefully they can just keep rolling with that and, make this series interesting. Because I made mention too yesterday about how I was kind of nervous with the planetary alignments, things coming up, the way OKC had played, that there could have been a sweep going on. But Timberwolves avoided the sweep. So as a Wolves fan, I am just happy about that. Hi, William. Always good to see you. Happy Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. I like the new setup. Is Gumby chilling for the off season? That's so funny, Ryan, that you mentioned that because I'm actually planning to rearrange today, but thank you. I appreciate it. No, Gumby is going to be back. He is heavily missed. I think he's the main piece of the channel, really. So I am planning on putting him back, putting my shelves and back and hanging up my lights and stuff. I moved 2 months ago. So, and I got a few more plants. So I have you can see the 3. I have 2 other ones. I have a third one over here. But so I'm going to try to do a little bit of rearranging. But this doubles as my workspace too. I work from home. So got to make it, a little bit better. Going to do some little organizing here. But thank you. I appreciate it. I do like some plants and I like some greenery. So, and it's good feng shui to have plants in your workspace too. So yeah, they can try to help absorb some maybe negative energy and stuff. So anyway, but thank you. I appreciate that, Ryan. Love some greenery. Love some plants. Nash, hi. Good to see you. How's it going? Thanks for stopping through. And set a record. Yeah, for real, for real. Oh, okay. I do have the recap on there, but again, I usually have this little thing on there. Yeah, set a record with God, what was it? I don't think I wrote that down. It was something like, what did the Timberwolves score? Like 70, was it 70 points in the first half? Was that what it was? Something, it was insane. I mean, like, and from the jump, like from the absolute jump. So, well, whatever. Let's get into it here. I'm just going to share the chart here for last night and just to kind of, bounce off of, and then I'm going to share the chart for tomorrow night's game. I think this is the right one. These are looking pretty similar here. Pretty similar here. All right. Yeah, so this is the chart for last night. Yeah, set their record. I mean, and I think that thus far for the Timberwolves, I think like that was their best, obviously, playoff game of basketball. But I mean, at one point, I think the team was up by, I think it was 45 points. And yeah, so let's get into it a little bit more here about last night. So one of my notes after I wrote down the score was like, Oklahoma City had no chance from the beginning, no chance whatsoever. And the next game, like I made mention of, is tomorrow. It is on the new moon again in Gemini tomorrow. Gemini is duality, the twins. There's two sides. Could the series even up, go 2-2 each team, or the series be 2-2, each team having 1-2 games? I think there's a definite possibility of that. So for last night, things that I missed here that I was talking about. So Minnesota, they were ruled by Venus last night. This is their first house of themselves here with the Sun, Mercury, and Uranus right there. And the Sun is half of the part of the new moon, which is tomorrow. Again, game number 4. The Sun, very, very powerful. Our effervescence, our life force, who we are at our core. Again, the co-ruler of the new moon tomorrow. And the moon, what was really bothering me about not choosing the Timberwolves and going with OKC, a couple other things, was that the moon, which is the co-ruler of every single chart, and with the new moon coming up tomorrow, especially, very, very important. Not to mention the last series for the Timberwolves when they played the Warriors, they were coming off of this energy from a full moon. And the full moon is all about completions and endings. And the Timberwolves were able to utilize that energy in the last series to end the season for the Golden State Warriors, end it, cut it off, onto something new and complete that. So it's like I bypassed that. I was looking at that more for a positive for OKC, with the moon being in the Timberwolves' 12th house of what's hidden away from them and their hidden enemies. But being that the Timberwolves had the Sun in their first house helping them, kind of co-piloting and supporting Venus, which ruled them, the moon, just because it's in their 12th house, how I see this, how it played out last night, it wasn't a hidden enemy. It was just hidden away from them. And now I'm reading that as like, they do have an opportunity to use this new moon tomorrow to even the series, to win a second game. Both teams, again, then will have won 2 games. Gemini, again, is the twins, double, twos. So, all of that coming together. And then other things that I was talking about last night, more of a positive for OKC, but it turned out to be a positive for the Timberwolves, was that the Lord, which is basically like a lord of a planet, is kind of like the planet will do the Lord's bidding, kind of sort of thing. Easiest way I can think of right now to explain it. So OKC last night was ruled by Mars and by Pluto. Mars being in Leo, the Lord of Mars is the Sun. Look at the Sun right there in the Timberwolves' first house of themselves. And for Pluto, Pluto's ruled by Saturn. Modern day ruler is Uranus. Uranus also finds itself in the Timberwolves' first house of themselves. Like, I was reading that as OKC dominating the Timberwolves. No, it was flipped. Minnesota completely dominating, taking control. Like, Mars, Pluto, you wanted to do this. The lords of those 2 planets wanted to do this. We don't think so at all. They just completely engulfed that. And also, not to mention, I was talking about how I expected the crowd at the Target Center to be rowdy last night. I mean, of course, they want their team to go on. They don't want to see them go down 3-0. The crowd was absolutely extra lit. They were, every time SGA got the ball for Oklahoma City, they were booing consistently, which is a stark opposite of what SGA was experiencing in his home arena. They were chanting MVP because he won the MVP, obviously, every time he touched the ball. Stark opposite in difference at the Target Center. They were just loud, ruckus. I mean, they were helping fuel the Timberwolves. And I'm saying that because Mercury, the planet of communication, ruled the Timberwolves' fourth house of their home, ruled OKC's 10th house of their career, how they show out on a public level. OKC got completely embarrassed by the Timberwolves last night. The Timberwolves with the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, all in their first house, which had to do with what was OKC was trying to do. OKC could do nothing. So, I mean, I was rating that as OKC taking charge. It was flipped, completely flipped. So, as a Timberwolves fan, very cool. As an astrologer, learning moment for myself. I'll take it. And then this was a big win of epic proportions. Something I did talk about, but I bypassed it, is Timberwolves were ruled by Venus, and Venus was is currently working towards a sextile with the planet Jupiter. A sextile between two planets, that's easy breezy. That's positive communication. And with Jupiter and Venus, those two planets are besties. They're the benefic planets. Jupiter being the bigger benefic, the greater benefic, Venus being the lesser. So right there. And another thing for the Timberwolves, they had Jupiter ruling their 10th house of their career, how they show out on a public level, their reputation. The fans were there. They were supporting. It was explosive. It was big. It was a ginormous victory. Those are all things that Jupiter does. It will expand. It will bring blessings. It will bring good luck. So, wow. Not to mention the Timberwolves had last night Jupiter in their second house of what they own, their money, their material items. They completely owned Oklahoma City last night. And another thing that I talked about last night, and then I went against it anyway, is that for OKC, the moon, which is the co-ruler of every chart, the moon was squaring both Pluto and then working to square, which the moon will square Mars later today. Both of the two planets that rule Oklahoma City. And normally when the moon is squaring planets that represent a team, that's a no. Like, things are not going well. So again, right there. Anyway. So, Dee Dee, hey, you also predict Knicks versus Pacers or only Timberwolves games? You know, I would love to do all of them. I just started, when I started doing predictions a couple years ago on my channel, I just started kind of doing Minnesota teams because I'm a Minnesota sports fan. But I mean, when you do the astrology, you have to leave the fandom out of the way. And maybe last night too, that kind of got in the way for me too. I mean, I blew it last night, but it happens. I would actually like to do Knicks Pacers. That would be fun. I do other teams too, to answer your question. I've just been kind of more focused on the Timberwolves series with the finals. But last year I did the NBA finals, that whole entire series. And I don't even remember who it was now. Wasn't it Denver and I don't even remember who it was. But I did that whole series last year. I enjoy it. I like doing it all. I just kind of started with Minnesota teams just because that's where my fandom lies, but I like doing all sorts of stuff, other teams, other sports too. So, I mean, is their game today? Is the Knicks Pacers game today? We could definitely pull that up and take a peek. But yeah, as long as I know like the time and place. Oh, that is tonight. Okay, that's at 7. Yeah, we can maybe pull that up. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by though. Good question. I like it. I like doing them all, and I did one the other day for the WNBA. I did it was Minnesota Lynx and Dallas Wings, so that was cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't discriminate. I don't. But yeah, this is why I've kind of just been doing Minnesota stuff, I guess, was the first jump at it because I'm a Minnesota sports fan. But I maybe should have started with teams that I don't cheer for because again, when you do the astrology of it all, you can't play favorites. You got to be objective when you're looking at the chart. So I maybe should have done that actually instead of doing charts of teams that I root for. But yeah, so we could potentially pull that up. And then as that series goes on too, because what is this? Is this game 3 for them tonight? Yeah, it's game 3 for them tonight. Knicks down 0-2. Oh, and it's going to be the first game in Indiana too. So the Knicks blew it 2 games in New York rather. And as a Timberwolves fan myself, I would love obviously to see the Timberwolves go to the finals, but it would be great and juicy if the New York Knicks were the opponent because that has none other than Karl Anthony Towns, who was drafted by the Timberwolves and used to play for the Timberwolves. But yeah. So continuing on with last night, things that I missed. I already mentioned this, kind of getting ahead of myself with my nerd notes. Like I just made mention of, that, let me get back to the right chart here. The moon was squaring Pluto co-ruler of OKC last night. Moon also working to square Mars. Not good. There's tension there. When the moon is squaring, that's usually not positive, not helpful. All right. So another thing there. And I had mentioned too last night, I didn't get the exact tip off time, but I think it was around like 7:43, 7:42. I was making something to eat while I was waiting for tip off. And I was watching tip off too. And then I just forgot to write it down. But so I think it was around that time. Game 2 was 7:44 Central. So I think I got it kind of close. But so I have the chart set for 7:40 last night. But I had said that if the game started past 7:58 p.m. or later, the moon would be out of Minnesota's 12th house of what's hidden away from them. And again, that did not affect them in a negative way. It was just hidden from them. It didn't act like a hidden enemy to them. So that didn't matter at all. Like it didn't matter. No. I was like, well, I would change it and pick the Timberwolves to win if the game tipped off 7:58 or later, and it tipped off before that and it didn't matter. It was more beneficial actually that the moon was there. It was just hidden away from them. And for the Timberwolves, another positive thing is that the moon, the Lord of the Moon last night was Venus because the moon she's still in Taurus. The moon loves being in Taurus. Very, very good. Like if anybody, when the moon is in Taurus, you want to do some like gardening, some earthy stuff that it's perfect for that, like planting, especially with the new moon coming up. I'm planning on actually up potting one of my plants, this one right over here, or no, the one you can't see actually. Joan, you can't see her. Planning to do that today or tomorrow, probably today with the moon being in Taurus. So it's just really good for stuff like that, or maybe like meal prepping or something like that too with the moon in Taurus, getting like your food ready, cooking yummy food, doing things like that. But really good for planting when the moon is in Taurus. But so that was beneficial for the Timberwolves because they were ruled by Venus. So it was just like all cylinders a go for last night. Ryan, let's see. So what are your plans? What are your plans for this weekend? Man, I feel like my weekend has already been pretty jam-packed. Yesterday, I actually was with, I went and saw one of my grandmas, or my only grandma that's left, actually. I did go and visit her. And then me and a couple of my aunts, we went and spread my grandpa's ashes, actually. He was a huge Vikings fan. He would watch the channel. He called me sometimes when I was live streaming. I still have those videos up. But so I did that. And then today, actually, after I'm done streaming here in a little while, I'm going to one of the trails, taking my dog for a walk. And then going to come back home, planning on doing a little rearranging and up potting one of my plants. And then I think I'm going to go over to one of my aunt and uncle's houses, either today or tomorrow. So got a lot of like chores and little things to do, but yeah. We are having a chill day. Had a second. Oh, I missed one of my cousin's kids. One of my cousin's kids graduated too. She had a party last night. I didn't make it to that. I had to come home and do dog duties and stuff like that. But that's cool. Yeah, congratulations to all the graduates. Oh, and your parents are coming next weekend. That's very, very nice. But yeah, just trying to be outside, enjoy, because it's pretty nice here today. Sunny, but yeah, thanks for asking, Ryan. Hope everybody's having a nice weekend, or if you're working too, whatever you're doing, whenever you're watching this, hope things are going well. William, looks like it may be the Timberwolves versus Pacers in the finals. I picked Timberwolves versus Knicks, but I'm not going to count on it being Pacers versus Thunders. That's cool. I hope personally, like for me, I hope it's Timberwolves Knicks. That would be juicy and exciting. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if and maybe I have to kind of. I have like 40-ish minutes. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm trying to, stay on like some sort of like weird little schedule to get all my stuff done today. But I do actually want to, just because you guys have talked about it and Dee Dee asked to maybe look at the Knicks chart for tonight, Knicks Pacers chart tonight, just really quick and see. But yeah, very, very fun time. And in Minnesota right now too, the Frost won women's hockey, like triple overtime last night. I think the Lynx are still undefeated. The Twins are going for a sweep today. I forget who they're playing, but yeah, Minnesota sports scene is popping. I mean, just everywhere, but all sports. But I mean, I'm in Minnesota, but my parents are doing okay. My dad is still doing dialysis 3 days a week. It really tires them out, and my mom is dealing with being in her wheelchair. I have a feeling they will move to Fargo in a year. Maybe they want to be closer to you, but it's good to spend time with them. And yeah, just keep on trucking along. That stuff can be tiring. So hanging in there though, but I'm sure I know you absolutely adore your parents, Ryan. So that'll be great. They are researching the best thing to stay in Minnesota or move to North Dakota. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got to weigh the pros and the cons. So new moon tomorrow, new beginning, and it's too, the duality, Minnesota or North Dakota. Where do we go? What do we do? Whatever's best for them. But yeah, that can be a lot to take on, a big move. But obviously you'd be there if they moved to Fargo. All right. So couple other things from last night. I already talked about that. Booing SGA, especially different for him. Yeah, I already talked about that. I think I already talked about all my other notes. I got ahead of my notes here. Yep, I already talked about Venus being in the second, Sun in Minnesota's first. Oh, okay, so the points. This is one thing that I'm still just really trying to get into here. But I was trying to look and see in the chart last night, like what is giving the 42 point margin of victory? Yeah, 42 points. Okay, so like what is it that's giving us the 42 point spread here? The closest thing that I could find here in the chart from last night to give that big of victory margin or give the point spread here is that the Sun for last night's game was at 4 degrees and 4 seconds of Gemini, helping support the Timberwolves because it was in the Timberwolves' first house, and the Sun was trining, which is the most positive communication that two planets can have in astrology. It is the most beneficial. The best things just naturally come. It's great. It's what you want to see, this thick blue line. So the Sun was overpowering Pluto in the trine. Pluto was the co-ruler of OKC last night. Pluto was at 3 degrees, 43 seconds of Aquarius. 43 minus 4, that's 39. I did mention 39 points last night too briefly in the pregame. But I was looking at it more for OKC, but that's kind of the closest that I could get and that I could find. Could be missing something else here, but just for, purposes of it all. Like 39 is pretty close to 42. But yeah, that's the biggest thing that I could find there in regard to the points. So yeah. Anywho, now tomorrow night. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this one here. And I'm going to share the other one for tomorrow. Let's see here. So many charts. I have so many tabs open and so many charts. That's not the right one. Here it is. Okay. And two, it's like, okay, Restream, why do you put me down in the corner right over here when I wanted to be even? Okay, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Why did you do that? Okay, don't do that. I had it split, so let's go with that. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Cheers, everybody. Happy to have you. All right, so I think I got over everything from last night. I mean, yeah, I had like 2 extra pages of notes here, people. I know it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but I mean, look at it all. Nerd notes for the win. Okay, so tomorrow, game 4. Game 4. All right. Now, again, like I've been harping about, there is a new moon tomorrow. Okay, people, I shared the wrong chart again. This isn't the right one. Maybe I'm just going to bring that one over here so I don't try to share it. Too many tabs. And then I want to close the tabs, but I don't because I might need that tab later. Does anybody else have that issue where you just have like, see, restream? Don't put me in the corner. Don't put Jade in the corner, okay? Restream, stop it. But yeah, does anybody else have like a zillion tabs open that you're like, I need that. I have to go back to that later. And a lot of the time I do. But I will say I have a lot of tabs open on my computer and on my phone. And I've gotten really good at restoring if your computer shuts down and you lose all your tabs. It's Control-Shift-T if you are using like a Windows. I'm not a Mac user, but if you lose your tabs, people, Control-Shift-T, it will restore them, okay? If you didn't already know that. Okay. All right. Sports shows. Hey. Morning. Good morning back. Thank you. Great team won last night. Oh, it was great. Wasn't it? Oh, it was great. Yeah. And man, as a Timberwolves fan, I was a little bit like, I wish I was at that game. But what's also really exciting is if this series continues, if the Timberwolves continue to win, if potentially they make it to the finals, could Kevin Garnett come back and reemerge at the Target Center? Even though Glenn Taylor might be there. But put everything aside because the Timberwolves are now under new ownership. Oh my gosh. That would be so great. And I mean, KG still does support the team. It's just that beef with Glenn Taylor there. So, but yeah, that would have been a really fun game to be at last night. But, excuse me, if Kevin Garnett comes back, I'm not one that really experiences FOMO or fear of missing out. Like, I'm kind of like the opposite. Like, if I want to go to something, I will go. But, okay, I didn't go. But last night I was like, man, that would have been fun. You know, there's a little bit of that, little FOMO going on last night for myself. But not really, but a little bit. But if there's a game like that and Kevin Garnett comes back and makes an appearance, damn it, yes, I will have FOMO. Fear of missing out. I usually have the opposite, whatever they call it, the joy of missing out, JOMO or something. I don't know what the kids are saying, whatever the kids say. The acronyms or whatever. But shoot, if that happens, anyway. So on to the chart for tomorrow. Because I've said this before here, but man, back in the day, like when KG, Wally Zerbiak, Chauncey Billups, Timberwolves were my number one. Obsessed. I mean, I have like so many old Polaroid photos of when I went to games. I would tape games and go and watch them after my own basketball games. I mean, you guys, Timberwolves. I was howling from a young age. Okay, so here on to the game tomorrow. Yeah, sometimes more than 100 tabs. See, yeah, it's easy to do. Hear ya, because you just need it. You might need it later. You don't want to forget about it. Yeah. That's funny. 100 tabs, yeah. All right, that's funny though. Okay, so for tomorrow, 26th of May, game number 4, again, the timing is so crucial with the tip-off. I'm gonna assume tip-off is gonna be around like 7:40 Central Time. Around there, tip-off is scheduled, air quotes, scheduled for 7:30. But the games rarely, if ever, have tipped off right at 7:30. No, because they got to do their little TV stuff, all that stuff. So, all right, I'm going with 7:40 tomorrow. And it's very similar to the chart of last night. The moon has moved though. So let's look at looky here. And basically, to wrap this up before I dive in, I think the Timberwolves do have a very, 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 very strong chance of winning the game tomorrow night to fulfill kind of coming off of the full moon of the last series. They ended the Warriors. Now they're utilizing the new moon energy of tomorrow to try to tie this game up or tie the series up, excuse me, and carry on. And I was talking about how if OKC were to get the sweep, it's a fresh start, a new beginning for them. But oh no, with the sun and the moon, the power players, the main players of the new moon, that is when the moon and the sun are together in the sky at the same degree. That is so, so powerful. So I am reading this now, with how everything transpired last night and looking at the chart, that this is a fresh start, a new beginning for the Timberwolves in this series to continue it on, to keep going. And especially with the duality, with the two-ness of Gemini. The new moon is going to be in Gemini. Gemini rules the twins. There's two with Gemini. It doubles. So, Dust Bunny 333. I love that name. It's usually 10 minutes after schedule time. Yep. Usually it is. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, that's what other people have said too. Usually about like 10, 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm going with 740. So, yeah, thanks for that. And I really like your name. Thanks for stopping through in the comment. I appreciate that. So with the Timberwolves having the moon and not just the sun, like last time they had the sun in their first house, they also have the moon there too. Also, still got Mercury in their first house, still have Uranus in the first house. And again, the moon is the co-ruler of every chart. And with tomorrow, the new moon is going to happen after the game is over. It's going to be at about like 11:30-ish Central Time, something like that. So after the game is over, but the moon is building towards that. And the sun, the moon are right in the Timberwolves' first house of themselves, their ascendant, their physical body. All right. So perhaps last night was the fresh start. Yes, I think so, Ryan. I think so. Yes, I definitely think so. And I was worried for them last night, again, like I was mentioning, because they had the moon hidden away from them in their 12th house. And that is the house of what's hidden from you and hidden enemies. So I was concerned about that. But the thing that was positive for the Timberwolves was that even though the moon was hidden away from them, it was squaring or in a battle, overtaking both of the planets that ruled Oklahoma City. And now for game 4, the moon has moved right into the Timberwolves' first house, not hidden away from them anymore. So it's like right out in the open, like it's here. And obviously with the Timberwolves' victory last night, what has transpired? They sure as shit have to have a total opportunity to even this series. I mean, so it's kind of like the astrology is there to support what's happening. So yeah, very cool. And I definitely think it was a fresh start for the Wolves. And I do think with everything there tomorrow night, they have the opportunity to win another one and tie it up. I mean, they have the series is not over yet. I mean, and two, if they lose, okay. But I just really think this is just going to carry over for them. Now, if if they do go and win tomorrow night, they've still got a lot of work ahead of them. I mean, it's a 7-game series, and then you're not going to be at home anymore, Dorothy. Okay, you're going to be going back to OKC, where it did not go well the first 2 games. So, but just looking at tomorrow, for the Timberwolves, they are going to be ruled by Venus again, because their first house lands in Taurus. For OKC, they are going to be ruled by Mars and Pluto again, because their first house, OKC, lands in the sign of Scorpio. So I do think that tomorrow night's game will be closer. And I mean, that shouldn't be like a huge shock, right? Like OKC, they got embarrassed. They literally got their asses handed to them. So I would think, and if I were OKC fan, I would hope that they would get it together, correct the errors, that have happened. So, Dee Dee, seen some of your past predictions. They were pretty accurate. Thank you. Appreciate that. Could like in-game manipulation mess with your prediction? Potentially. Player and refs been paid in the past millions to rig games in many sports. Definitely. Yeah, that is a good point that you mentioned that. And as I keep doing things and reading the charts and making the predictions, maybe I should try to look out for that more too. Like find things in the chart that could represent things like that going down, because it's all there. It's all there. It's just, do you notice it? Do you see it? Do you look at it? And some people have asked about refs before too, and like what planet could potentially represent that referees. And I was kind of debating between Saturn and Mercury, but I think more Saturn for referees, just because they make the calls, but that's more Mercury. But they can stop things. They'll stop the game with the whistle, things like that, and that's something that Saturn will do. And Saturn is kind of like the great teacher, and the refs, they're the ones that make the calls, so they can kind of like dictate in a way or have control if they really really want to. So that's a really good question, and a really good thing to think about for sure. Because yeah, there's definitely, it seems like puppeteering going on behind the scenes too. So yeah, I should look out more for that. You should do a live show tomorrow. I might try to do a live show tomorrow night too, before the game. I just did, since I was coming on today, I just thought to talk about it a little bit too. But yeah, I will probably try to pop on tomorrow night, because I would like to do that. But I mean, when I was watching last night, and I just was like, oh my gosh, looking at everything, I'm like, I can't wait to go back and talk about this and like point out everything that I missed and what happened. I mean, and it's cool just to watch everything like play out in real time. And last night we're still under this like balsamic moon phase, which is like a time for introspection, really going within before the new moon and the new beginning, which is tomorrow. And depending on where you live, for me, it'll be like tomorrow around like 11:30, between 11:30 and like midnight or so. So. Yeah, refs, specifically in basketball, do decide games, not even always intentionally. Right. That is true. Yeah. And I'm like, as a sports fan, I'm not ever one to really come down hard and blame referees either which way. I'm just not, for any sport that I watch. I mean, yeah, sometimes they miss stuff that's like blatantly obvious to somebody, but they're humans. So we know anyway, or so we think, so we assume they're not going to make every call, right? They're going to miss some stuff. But yeah, like in game number 1 with the Timberwolves and OKC, like that, to me, I was even thinking to myself, like, who is being paid off here? Who got an extra little piece of cash, chunk of cash or envelope in their pocket, or like some Bitcoin or whatever? Because the calls that OKC were getting in game 1 and 2, I mentioned this last couple of times. OKC, y'all are going for the Oscar, okay? You trying to get that Oscar nomination with the acting. My goodness. Some of it was just like barely even like touching. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall all the way down on the floor. No. But for tomorrow night, okay, my dog barking at something. There might be somebody walking by, the audacity of a person to walk by. A tree might be blowing outside, the audacity. But I will say, I appreciate, the dog letting me know that something's going on, but I think everything's okay. But anyway, if you heard that, my dog's barking. So the reason too why I do think it's going to be closer, is that for OKC anyway, for tomorrow night's game, is that the moon is no longer squaring Mars and Pluto, that being the planets that rule Oklahoma City tomorrow night. Instead of tension and not supporting, the moon is actually supporting, is in good aspect, with Pluto, this thick blue line here. The moon will be trining Pluto, the co-ruler of OKC. But the moon is at 4 degrees. Pluto is at 3. It does still count. That is positive. But look where the new moon is happening, right in the Timberwolves' first house of themselves. Are they going to be actually overcoming OKC again? But since the moon is supporting OKC tomorrow night, I do think that it is going to be closer. I do think that the Timberwolves do have a very, very, very good opportunity if things play out in certain ways. Not every chart is the same, obviously, but we're looking for patterns here. If things do play out similarly to last night, the Timberwolves having the sun and now the moon and also still Mercury and Uranus. The sun, Mercury, and Uranus all play big roles for OKC. And all of those planets are still in the Timberwolves' first house. And for the Timberwolves, Mercury rules their fourth house of home, the arena. Mercury rules communication, and it's right next to the new moon. I think the fans might be even louder. And I made mention of this last night too. Like, they might be extra talkative, and they sure were. They were booing again SGA every single time he touched that ball, and they did not let up. So I think that the fans definitely did help energize. I mean, how could it not? And the Timberwolves, they utilized that to their advantage too. Neither the Timberwolves or the fans let the foot off the gas. They kept it going the whole entire time. So that's very, very positive. And for OKC, their fifth house tomorrow night is represented by Mars as well. And Mars and Pluto, the co-ruler again of OKC, they're not doing anything with one another. And Venus, the Timberwolves are right in OKC's fifth house of their games again. So I think it could come out as another victory for the Timberwolves. Again, I don't think it's going to be 42 points again. I think it's going to be closer again because the moon is supporting OKC as opposed to not like last night. But man, with the Timberwolves having the new moon, both luminaries, which are so powerful in general in their first house, like I just see that as the Timberwolves tying this up. And again, with the duality, with the 2, with Gemini, new moon happening in Gemini. Game number 4, opportunity for both teams to have won 2 games. Second game at home for Minnesota. Just kind of everything has the ability to line up for the Timberwolves to tie it up and go back to OKC. I think it's on Wednesday. So that's kind of how I see it playing out for tomorrow. I will try to pop on tomorrow night. I just looked at the time and it was 44:04. That's cool. That I'd been streaming anyway. So yeah, I might talk a little bit about it more tomorrow and just do, just a little like pregame recap of what I'm already talking about right now. And I just like streaming and I like talking to all of you guys and I like checking in, and I'm a sports fan, yeah, obviously, so should be fun, but I will try to do that tomorrow night as well. But I am picking the Timberwolves to win tomorrow night. I might take a little peek at the chart again, of course. I probably will. I just don't see anything making me change my mind. It's like I'm very Saturn dominant myself. I'm a Saturn dominant person, and in my chart, and it's like I almost had to learn a lesson from last night too. And I talked about this last night, is that Saturn itself had a huge shift. It was at 29 degrees of Pisces last night, and now it has moved into Aries. So when planets are at 29 degrees, it's the last degree of a sign. Every sign is 30 degrees total. So it's like everything is coming to like utter completion when something is at 29 degrees. So could that have been a lesson for myself there too? Because I am just a very Saturn dominant person. going from 29 now going into Aries, just for me personally. And Saturn too is the great teacher, the karmic teacher. Jupiter is about higher learning and, learning in general, but Saturn is like the taskmaster, will really like, you do this over until you do it right. And then you'll be rewarded because you are doing it right. So yeah, anywho, but yeah, I am picking the Timberwolves to win tomorrow night. But I will try to pop in tomorrow night because that should be fun. Now, I have some time here, and just because, we all got time, but let me go ahead and just pull up the chart for Pacers and Knicks tonight. Let's see, and just see what it says. Do the New York Knicks have an opportunity to go down 3-0 now? Do the Pacers have an opportunity to sweep, to get the brooms out? And man, their fans, I'm sure, are going to be excited because for Indiana, they were able to go to New York and beat them, okay? In their home, in New York's home. Let's see. All times in Central Time. Isn't Indiana, is that in Eastern Time? I think it is, right? So it's going to be at 8 o'clock. And where is their arena? Indianapolis, I would assume. I always have to double check because I've gotten myself in trouble before. Okay, they are an hour ahead. I'm assuming the Pacers arena. Yeah, it is in Indianapolis. Okay, just making sure. All right, 8 o'clock tonight, May 25th, 8 o'clock Eastern in Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's pull it up and see. Let's get it in the right house system. Okay. All right. Let me pull this up quick and talk about it. Is this the right one? Now I added another chart. I got another tab. Another one. Okay. All right. Let's see. Again, why are you putting Jade in the corner? Don't put her in the corner, people. And when I say people, I mean Restream, the streaming platform that I'm using right now. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. Indiana, excuse me, the Pacers, they're ruled by Venus tonight. Knicks are ruled by Mars and Pluto for the game tonight. The moon, I don't like this for the Knicks, actually, at all. I don't like it for them because the moon is at 19 degrees of Taurus. Oh, let's put it back at 8 o'clock. There we go. All right, so the moon is at 19 degrees of Taurus at the start of this game, or, tip-off time, probably around like 8:10 or so. But with the moon in Taurus at 19 degrees and the moon squaring Mars, which is the New York Knicks tonight, I don't like that for them. Just straight up looking at this, I don't like that because it rules not only the Knicks, but it also rules the Knicks' fifth house of their game, how they play their game tonight. And kind of similar to the Timberwolves and who are they playing? The Thunder. Mercury is the ruler of the Knicks' 10th house of their career reputation. Mercury is also the ruler of the Pacers arena, their home base. Mercury is at 29 degrees of Taurus. 29. It's a crucial degree. It's getting ready to move over into Gemini. I think the Pacers fans are going to be going nuts. They are going to be going nuts. I could see it to be a similar thing of, how the Timberwolves fans were booing SGA last night. I don't know. Could the Pacers pans? They should call them the Pans. They should call the Pacers fans Pans. That is so funny. Why don't they do that? Did I just think of something? Did we just think of something here? That's hilarious to me. Okay, so the Pans, the Pacer fans, I could see them going after the Knicks too. Like, if I was a Pacer fan and I just wanted to be annoying and, I would try to get them to, like, do meows, like, or play that over the intercom whenever Karl Anthony Towns catches the ball or has the ball. I would play like cat noises, like hisses, like, I would do all sorts of that stuff. And the fans should do that. Like, get in his head, get in there. And they very well could. And for the Pacers too, they have the sun, the co-ruler of the new moon tomorrow night, working towards the new moon tomorrow in their first house, helping them. They're represented by Venus. Venus, i.e. the Pacers, the lord of the moon is Venus, that being the Pacers. The moon is very, very, very close to being right on the Pacers' first house, their ascendant. It's within 4 degrees. I would almost count that as being close enough to be right in there. It's not technically, but it's very, very close. So I would think that the Pacers could carry on a wayward son tonight and potentially go up 3-0. Not to mention for the Pacers, them being ruled by Venus. Venus is in good harmony with Jupiter. Jupiter rules the Pacers' 10th house of how they show out on a public level. Saturn is now in Aries at 0 degrees, right next to Neptune. Neptune is the co-ruler of the Pacers' 10th house, of their public image, their career. And Neptune can kind of, fantasize. It can kind of give an illusion and throw a veil over things. And Saturn is very serious and all about longevity. But man, it would just be, especially with how last night turned out and just similarities with this chart today too. I mean, I could almost see it playing out for the Pacers, that instead of how I was talking out OKC going up 3-0, this could be the Pacers' potential to go up 3-0. So I would, just looking at it right here, right now, I could see the Knicks taking another L tonight. And as far as the points go, man, 2 points. The points are so hard. And let's see, what was the score of their last game? So Pacers won by 5, game 2. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Pacers winning again. Yeah, I'm gonna say by 2 to 4 points. What I'm looking at here. And tomorrow night too, when I come back, I can recap this a little bit too, what happens. But this will give me more reason to watch it tonight too. I do like watching basketball in general, so I like watching. But yeah, now that we're talking about it here a little bit. All right. Hey, Clean Music Lover, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Moon square Mars is separating. This is true. This is very true. With the moon at 19 degrees and Mars at 17. I have read, I can't remember which astrologer this goes with, but you can still apply an aspect as applying with the moon if it's within 3 degrees. That can still count for the moon. So being that the moon is still within that 3 degree margin, yes, it is separating. You're totally right. You're spot on. I just kind of see that as there's still power there with the square, with the tension. But anyway, but I still think the Pacers will win. They are deep. All right. I haven't watched much. I really haven't. I don't think I've watched. I could not name you right now a Pacers player off the top of my head, straight up. I can't. And I don't think I've watched a single game of theirs this season at all. And if I have, it's just in, bypass. I didn't even realize it or remember. So, but I can't get I don't have the NBA channel or NBA access or whatever it is. Shit, I can't even watch a lot of the Timberwolves games, but I really when the finals are going on because they're on the main networks, so then I can watch. So it's exciting. And a Lynx game, I would love to watch a freaking Lynx game. Anyways, so I digress. But Clean Music Lover, thanks for stopping by. Always good to see you. Talk astrology with you as well. What do you think for the points for tonight? I don't know. My eyes are definitely going to be glued on the screen, though. That'll be fun to watch, especially, it's more fun to watch too when you do the prediction on there and then just trying to see how everything plays out in real time. So, yeah. Anyway, good suggestion, everybody, to pull that game up tonight too. And yeah, I am planning on doing all the Timberwolves games as long as they're in. And regardless if the Timberwolves or if they don't make the finals, I am planning on doing the NBA predictions for the NBA finals for the series in general, whoever it is, Indiana, New York, Timberwolves, OKC. We're getting down to the wire. Only 4 left. So, yeah, I do plan on doing that for whatever teams end up being in the finals. So, let's see. I use Top Streams or Meth Streams. I don't know what that is. Is that like your streaming platform that you use? What do you mean? I don't know what those are. I am not familiar. Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate your comments and, kind words and you watching and hanging out. Appreciate that. Oh, to watch the games. Pfft, duh. Like, what are you talking about? Like, hello? If you have a smart TV, I don't have a smart TV. I don't. I mean, I inherited this other TV over here that I'm looking at that you guys can't see. Maybe it is a smart TV. The TV that I just, got, given to me, it might be a smart TV. I usually just watch, like I have Hulu, but I usually just watch on my laptop or on like one of the, like my bigger screens over here. But yeah, your girl just uses old school bunny ears, people. I got like old school bunny ears on my, my TV. Actually, my actual bunny ears were like 2 that broke. So I'm using like the antenna right now though, but otherwise I just watch on my computer. Maybe next year I'm going to have to invest, so I can watch the games because I love watching the NBA. I just like watching basketball. It's fun. Because I played basketball too, so I'm more partial to it. Like I didn't play football. I would have if I had the opportunity, but I like watching football too. But I'm just a sports fan in general. The NBA network needs to quit the local media BS. They do it on the MLB app and Channel 2, and it's annoying. I agree. It's dumb. And yeah, I mean, I never watched Twins games either. I mean, shit, their whole thing, like, I don't even know what they're on now. Bally? Are they still on Bally or whatever? What happened to Fox Sports North? FSN, the tried and true. Damn it, that got taken away. I mean, I know what happened to it. There was a whole thing, but anyway, yeah. That's stupid. I hate that. That's so dumb. I don't like it. Yeah, I can watch on my laptop. Okay, cool. Yeah, I might have to check it out. Sometimes I get nervous, if I go into like I don't know, things that I don't know or like downloading things or like using apps and things for free. I used to do I don't even remember the name of it right now before I got like Hulu or whatever, and I used to watch what was it called? It was just like, you could go find videos people would post of like TV shows, like everything for free online, but you'd have to like weed through. What the hell? It was like orange, had like an orange background. You'd always have to like click out ads when they'd like pop up or whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so yeah. I think the EFC is better than the WCF this year. The Eastern Conference Finals are better than the Western Conference Finals. Shoot, maybe I should switch over and start watching more of that. Have there been a lot more close games? Probably. Yeah. And too, since, my team that I cheer for is in the Western Conference Finals, another reason why I just tend to watch that. But yeah, I should check it out. I was watching, God, who are the Knicks playing the last series? But anyway, I just like watching in general. So, but I wonder too if it has something to do with like the Lakers, and with LeBron and Luka, like for the Western, like they kind of they lost 4-1, like they're kind of dying out. And then with the Warriors and Timberwolves, yes, Jimmy Butler was still in, but Steph Curry was out, so they didn't have like their big star either. So maybe a little bit, and shit, maybe the Eastern Conference is just better. I don't know, but they have a plan that's $19.99 a month. I miss Midwest Sports Channel. That's not too bad. Yeah, Midwest Sports Channel. I never had that one, but I miss FSN, Fox Sports North. But yeah, it's a bummer. when you can't watch when you want to. Trying to help my grandma watch Twins games too. When they took that away, like, oh my God. Oh, my mom had to help more than I did, but she's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. Like, okay, let's call DirecTV. We don't know. They're not apps, but they're websites. Yeah. The streaming websites. That was like that other one that I used to use too. It was a website. It wasn't an app. And I'm more partial to websites anyway too than like apps, even though, apps are fine, but my preferred apps involve eating. Hold on. Oh man, I don't have it. I was gonna do my little rim shot. I have my noisemaker. It's still in a box. I have to take it out. It was my lame attempt at humor. I used to have that in my stand-up set though. This little piece of hair is bothering me. Like back in the day, well, I would talk about like when apps were first kind of like coming up or whatever. Like, I don't want anything to do with an app unless it involves eating. Okay. So anyway, just taking some of my old material, but what time is it? It is 11:35 Central Time, everybody. I'm going to pop off for today. But yeah, I will try to come on tomorrow before the Wolves game. But I do have the Wolves winning. Again, by, what did I say? I do write it down. Otherwise I would forget. 6 points. All right. So I do have the Timbies winning tomorrow night, even the series up with each team having won 2 games. New Moon and Gemini with the 2. And Pacers, I think they're going to win tonight. I do. But I'll talk about that too, tomorrow night. So I appreciate everybody stopping through though, like usual. Always good to see you. Always good to talk to you guys. And hope you have a great rest of your day, a nice rest of your weekend, or whenever you happen to be watching this. And again, I always appreciate everybody stopping by. All the places on the bottom are mainly where you can find me. I am on Instagram, but I don't really post on there. But I might start posting a little bit more on like Instagram, so I'll put that on there. But I am still on Twitter, and yes, I do still call it Twitter. But I have 2 channels. I have Tarot with Jade, and then I have Sports and Stars with Jade. So if you want to subscribe to both, feel free. But I'm like dual streaming right now on both channels, so to get both audiences here. So you hate that these games are late? Well, I don't know. Like, they're not too late, right? I guess the ones I've been watching, I prefer them because they're not starting like later. I feel like they're starting earlier, but I don't know. If you're in Eastern time, then I suppose, yeah, that is late. I'm in the Central time, but like when the Timberwolves were playing, like the Warriors and the Lakers, yeah, those games are starting at like 9 p.m. So yeah, I understand that. Way too late. That's like almost past my bedtime. What the hell? Start sooner. And why can't they play some afternoon game? Like, I suppose too, since it's like Memorial Day weekend, maybe they assume everybody's going to be like out and about during the afternoon. So they think more people are going to be by the TV at nighttime, how they can make the most money. Who knows? But, anywho's. Yeah, I don't like the late ones either, though. Back to your point. Like, okay, I would like to stay up and watch past my bedtime. Ryan, have you heard the rumor if Seattle and Vegas get a team, the Wolves could move to the East? No, I did not hear that. I have not heard that. All I have heard is like and we've heard this before, right? And it's not happened, but I heard that they're going to try to either rebuild or buy another location to build a new arena in Minneapolis for the Wolves. So I would be so pissed. They would have the perfect, I thought you meant move them out of the state, Ryan. My bad. Yes, I read that wrong. My apologies. Yes, I have heard that of them moving conferences. Yes, I have heard that. My bad. Okay. My bad. They would have the perfect division: Wolves, Bucks, Bulls, Pistons, and Pacers. That would be kind of fun. And then we'd be in the better division, right? Maybe. That would be kind of cool. I mean, would that be more late games, though? Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird, too, that, like, the Bucks and the Wolves are not in the same division. Aren't they? Right? The Bucks are in the Eastern Division, aren't they? But anyway, yeah, though, that would be cool. I thought you meant, like, moving away. I'm like, what? No, we don't need that rumor again, please, no. And, I mean, if the Timberwolves continue to win, And if new ownership thought about doing that and did it, I mean, the stock would tank. So yeah, they wouldn't do that. But that'd be kind of fun though. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. No. And yeah, I'm still trying to plan to come on and talk a little bit about Vikings here, even though it's like still the off season, but some stuff to talk about with them too. So oh, nice. Okay, well then I'm all for it. They'd have earlier games? Yeah, let's do it. Where do I sign? Sign on the dotted line. Let's go. All right. But okay, anybody else got anything? Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle here. But again, I really appreciate everybody hanging out. And it's sunny here. Hope the sun continues. And hope everybody can enjoy, relax, or just chill. And if you're working or doing some stuff, hope it goes well for you. Easy breezy, nothing too strenuous, nothing too stressful. Can we all just be and hang out and exist, and not be stressed out? That'd be great. Right? But so yeah, as far as my astrology pick goes, go Pacers. But as a Timberwolves fan, come on, Knicks. Come on. I would love to see the Wolves and the Knicks in the finale, in the final, in Indiana Pacers. What did I call them? The Pans? The Pacer fans. If any of you are listening, if any of you that work the sound at the arena, play the hissing noises or the cat hissing whenever Carl Anthony Towns gets the ball. Because I mean, get into his head a little bit there. I would do that. I would be all over that if I were them. So anyway, if A-Rod wants to piss, exactly, if he wants to piss everyone off, right? And I don't think he wants to do that, right? Hopefully not anyway. But all right. Appreciate everybody joining in. Plan tomorrow. We'll see about the time, but appreciate everybody being here. Again, if I could sound like a broken record, I could just keep going here. I already kind of did, but everybody take care. And until next time, peace out. Bye, everybody.